Emerging from the grime and gloom of Queen Street Station, Glasgow in 1901 was a rich mixture of Celtic culture. Famine-struck Irish immigrants, Highlanders driven south by the clearances, all settled with the native lowland Scot. The city's tramway system had just been electrified, and the first public building switched on to the marvel of electric light. Sadly, however, Victorian social attitudes had taken a firm root in the Empire's second city, with East End slums on one side of town and Kelvinside suburbia on the other. Nonetheless, in April 1901, Glasgow had created a proud and impressive stage for her international exhibition at Kelvin Grove. This was a croft near Bridge of Orchy at the turn of the century. No well-defined social order here. Just one miserable level of hopeless poverty under the wretched eye of despised landlords, who were forcibly evicting crofters from their homes in favor of the more profitable exploitation of the land with deer and sheep. 20 years earlier, a spate of serious civil unrest between crofters and landowners had resulted in military intervention. The government appointed the Napier Commission to investigate the problems of the Highlands, and amongst many recommendations, they were adamant that transport lay at the heart of the West Highlands troubles. It was August 1894 when a jubilant Lochaber population greeted the arrival of the first train in Fort William, but it wasn't until 1901 that the line finally reached its destination at Mallaig, providing the fishing and crofting communities with a direct link to Glasgow. From the heart of the city, the route skirts the Clyde and Loch Lomond up to Crianlarich, then across the wilderness of Rannoch Moor, before swinging westward for Fort William and the dramatic finale to Mallaig. For many, the majesty of the line unfolds beyond Gairlochhead. The train has finally departed the rolling countryside of the Clyde estuary at Craigendoran, and with Helensburgh now behind, on true West Highland metals, plunging headlong into the rugged grandeur of Loch Long. It's easy to understand why foreign visitors regard with such fascination this unique railway journey, an undoubted highlight on any Scottish trip. There really is nothing else quite like it in Britain.
This is the greatest line in the world, this one. You're up here, single line traffic, and I think everybody should come and see this line. Everyone. It's a trip nobody should miss. Tickets, please.
If the sun came out, it would be even better, I think.
The first time I came on, it was brilliant blue sky. This time it's completely different. But I enjoy railway travel anyway, so this is my main reason we're coming on here.
Well, I saw got all streams and that come down the side of the mountains, and all grass and all. Lovely, it's all big towns and stuff.
It's beautiful, but it's different than the other lines. It's we like it.
It's beautiful, and we read a lot of books, and it told us in the books where to come. I enjoy looking at the scenery, but also the people are very interesting in the culture of the land.
Americans, you tell them, ask questions, you tell them, but you come up here and it's raining and it's misty, and they're saying, what a beautiful day, because they never see green grass at this time of year. So I love it.
Modern diesel sprinter trains herald a revolution in the working life of the line, the most dramatic change being the introduction of radio signalling, foreshadowing the end of traditional signal operations, and, sadly, as a result, the de-staffing of historic West Highland stations. At Crianlarich, the track divides, with the Oban line, a once separate company, veering off to the coast, while the original West Highland line strikes north to Rannoch Moor. Computers will now control the movements of trains.
Well, radio signaling is all done by a microprocessor in two control sections, one down in Craigendoran and one in Fort William. And the radio signalling as such will mean that there will be no need for signalmen, because it'll all be done by radio in the cab. There'll be a small radio in the cab of the engine. The driver will have communication with each of the control sections. And these will be Branagh Station and Bridgeaborky Station and Tulloch Station. There will be crossing places where trains can cross, just as they're crossing just now. And if there's anything unforeseen happens on the line or on the sections, the driver can communicate with the control point. So there is no need for any signalman at all. Signals will all be there. There'll be no signal to be away.
I worked at Glasgow Queen Street before I came up here. I was staying in a sort of rough environment, and my daughter was only about 6 at the time, and she actually got mugged going to school one morning. So I was there and then that's sort of put the final, the finishing touches to it, like I said, to write them off. I was always in the area, holidays and weekends and what have you, you can leave your door open all night and all that, and you can go to sleep with not worrying about anybody coming near your house or that. This station's been here from the late 1890s. I'd be very sorry to see it going, actually. I don't know how it goes with British Rail, whether they're allowed to pull it down, because you've got so many of these preservation people about now. I mean, that clock there in itself, that's a part of the character of the station. That's there from the station was built too. They're just doing away with the signalman. I don't really see any prospect for myself, I'm not really keen on moving from here. If I can find something else to do me here, then I'll be staying,
Oh, I have been quite the last 30 years, I've seen more in many aspects and weather. It's a great possibility we can get the 4 seasons in the one day. But apart from that, for the years I've travelled, right up till Rannoch Station, I know almost every water betwixt here and Glasgow. I've been coming so long up to Rannoch Station, it'd be rather a blow to me if they closed the Rannoch Station.
This is a railway within a railway. Its staff are breed apart, lighthouse men of the land.
Well, I think myself that the future of the West Highland line as such, will never be the same again. You will never get the same, esprit de corps as we used to have with the local population.
Why is that?
Because there'll be no staff on the stations, and the staff, you won't have any, there'll be nobody. The only man they'll be able to communicate with is the area manager. So there'll be no staff as such on the stations. I mean, everybody knows me around Rannoch and the area, as far as Townell Ridge and Pitlochry and Aberfeldy. They all know me here, but they don't know, very few of them know the area manager. There was only the railway and the fishing. That was all there was in Mali when I was brought up. You either went and joined the railway or you went to the fishing. That was the only 2 jobs you had. My wife, she is with me here on the railway as a signal woman. My father was on the railway for over 47 years. He was at the building of the Malling branch. And my brother was on the railway for 35 years as a local driver. That headstone up there, it was the Irish navvies, when they were building the line here, that hewed that out from the rock from the snow shed, which is 2.5 miles up from here. And J.H. Renton himself was a stockbroker. And the reason his head is, or the stone is there, when they ran out of money when they were building part of the line, and he financed part of the line. Well, I can recall 1982, when our water supply in the area, the whole area, went off. On the 27th of December, it went off the water. We had no water at all. It just froze up. And it didn't come back on again. We had no water until the 15th of March, following year. There is no other work in the areas at all. There's nothing in the area at all. Forestry is the only thing. And they haven't been taking on anybody at all.
It's nice up here. A lot of folk didn't like it. It's so peaceful and quiet. But we like it. We've got what we want up here and we're quite happy with it.
You never feel cut off?
No, not really.
You must have had some bad winters, though, when you wondered when you would see the next train. When was the last time?
But no winter there, but the winter before. It was really bad because the place was shut off for a week. We couldn't get anything. Just a snowplough kept going up and down keep the road open. And, well, it took about a week to get it open, get the train off the line. It was stranded. It's really a shame to shut the place. To start with, we'll put a job. And I think that's a shame because there are a lot of people come up here that are, a lot of foreign people and they can't speak English or anything. Most of them can, but some of them can't. And they'll just be stranded because if there's no anybody here, then they'll not know where to go.
A sight soon to disappear forever will be the brass key token issued by the signalman to the driver before he can proceed to the next station. The electrical interlocking of these Victorian token machines between stations ensured that only one token could be released for any given single-line section.
When you come up here, you forget the rest of the world exists. And it's really good because you can wind down and you've got time to watch what's going on round about you. When we came up here first, I was going down to Glasgow on the train, and this chap came up to me and asked if I had a photograph of the lady with the long skirts. And I said no. So he says, right, I'll send you one up. And he sent me this photograph here. It's of the people that used to work here years ago. Now, the man on the right of the picture, that's his wife standing in at the house. And his son is actually the station master at Spean Bridge.
The photo was 1910, and the child in my mother's arms was my oldest brother. I feel really sad. Doing away with the signals is an end of an era. I think it's really the electronic block came in or the line was closed. I think that was the two options we had. There's not much else to choose around this place for people to work at. There's no other... I mean, my father was the railway, I was in the railway, and my two sons are in the railway, so... That's the third generation.
When steam days were here, you could stop here now, get a wee cup of tea at this house and a cup of tea at that house. But the big shots didn't know that, you know. And maybe throwing a bag of coal after somebody here for a half dozen eggs. You know, I'd like to get to jail for this, but not much can do. There was a character up here, you know, he was an English bloke. He come up here from Dumbarton, it was just a PV block in the permanent way. He stayed in Midloch. That's halfway between Tilloch and Carew. What a character this was. When he come up here with his wife, his wife says, what is the shops? It's just round the corner there. Round the corner was 18 miles to Fort William. She didn't know what she was coming to on the three winds. I mind a bloke called, what did I get his name? Big Jock Campbell was a driver. Wee Barry was a fireman. They got snowed in at Rannoch, you know. And they were there 2 days. Couldn't get out. So wee Barry says, I'm going back to the road van. Now, this was a van we had on the passenger end. It was supplies for the hotels and shops in Fort William. You know, we supplies like that. And he opens this case of whiskey up. And he has this whiskey, and he gives the passengers a drink, you know. And that wasn't bad. And a couple of biscuits or something to eat. Here, there's a railway company, no jail him. Had him up in court. And the judge threw the case out of court right away when he heard all about it, you know. He said, case dismissed. He says, you're lucky, that's sure you lost. I said, carry on with it, you know. When I started firing up here, we used to have to stop at Lubna and pick the family up there. And then we would stop at 74 in the mile post, pick 2 families up there. And then we would pick priests up at Midlaw. That's the only way to get in for their messages at the weekend. 1 day a week. The railway wouldn't come to even stop a passenger for them. They're just in an old van, a brake van, getting rattled to death. This new signalling system, it's a good thing, because the line is losing money, definitely losing money. I don't care what anybody says. And the wages that's getting paid for a lot of things that we can cut down. It's got to come, we're not arguing in it, because it's new technology. And the money it's costing to keep the line open, we'll say Sundays and whatnots and that. It's a lot of money.
If you're going over Glenfin and Viaduct, everyone should take their hat off. As a token of respect. When they were building that bridge, there was a horse, a cart, and the carter all went down into one of the pillars. That's where I think he is.
Well, we feel sad. It's only natural because we like the place. That's the reason we've been here. They say it's remote, but we chose this life, and we're looking at, we expected to stay here, well, till we retired at least. But now this new move has come along, so we'll just have to make, change our ways, adapt ourselves, and see what we can bring out of the bad book, as it were, and I think we can bring something good out of that, because there's lots and lots of people will be still coming here, and I think that they will need a contact of some kind, because they come from foreign lands, and it'd be sad to think that there was nobody here even to meet them, you know.
Raise them high.